Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage Bree Hanrahan.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Bree Hanrahan. The world of autism is still extremely new to our family. You see, it's been only 3 months since my husband Chris and I received an autism diagnosis for our 19-month-old son, Bowden. We're often asked, how did you know? What were the signs? Bowden's lack of speech was not our primary concern given how young he was. What really concerned us is that he wouldn't respond to his name or acknowledge us when we'd walk into a room. He often seemed like he was in his own little world. We brought up these concerns to his pediatrician at his 12-month checkup, and he assured us that Bowden was not autistic. 2 months later, we made another appointment to discuss the same concerns, and he told us the same thing. However, this time, he made a referral to a developmental psychologist for an evaluation. And it was mainly just to rule out autism and finally have peace of mind. I'll never forget that day. During the 2-hour evaluation, I remember thinking to myself how great my little man was doing. He was putting the star into the star shape, and he was very engaged with his toys. And in hindsight, he was very engaged with the toys, not the person. But I was so proud of him. I was confident we'd be walking out that day with an all clear sign. And then the specialist came back into the room to review their findings. And there was an unmistakable change in their voices. I could feel the sheer weight of the air in the room. My heart immediately sank. I became dizzy, and the only word I remember them saying was autism. In a flash, our world had changed. Walking back to the car, I couldn't hold back the tears. Hundreds of thoughts were colliding in my mind. Was this my fault? Will my son be happy? Will he have any friends? What will his future look like? What does all this mean? The overwhelming fear and uncertainty of his and our future was suffocating. Before we got back into the car, Chris and I, we were still raw with disbelief, but we held each other and reassured one another that we could get through this together, that God chose us to be Bowden's parents for a reason, and that we have to fight and advocate for our son at all costs. Later that night, Chris mentioned a business colleague that he followed on social media, who often shared inspirational stories of his autistic son. We reached out to him, we shared our news, and asked if he'd be willing to speak with us. He responded within minutes, and he and his wife spent 2 hours on the phone with us that night, walking us through all the do's and don'ts of the path ahead. And they highlighted one critical piece of advice: go at this hard and fast. My head was spinning, but as I took notes, I remember they kept saying one word over and over again, and that was SARC. At the time, I didn't know what SARC was, but I knew we needed to find out. We woke up the next morning to a flurry of email introductions this wonderful couple had made, connecting us with Danny, president of SARC, and the SARC team. We were able to meet with Danny in person a few weeks later, and it was in that meeting that really opened our eyes to the bigger picture and the true vision that SARC has. Danny spoke of broader community awareness of autism, of the business community's involvement with helping autistic individuals transition out of school. He spoke of inclusion, he spoke of compassion, and he spoke of hope. Hope, that one elusive feeling that had escaped us ever since we received Bowden's diagnosis. For the first time, we saw a flicker of light at the end of the tunnel. SARC has become the beacon that will provide us the support we need to navigate the path ahead. Our family's journey is just beginning, but we now have a tremendous sense of empowerment, fueled by SARC and the autism community. Whenever Chris and I have felt directionless or confused, there's always been someone to step up, break our fall, and get us back on the right path. Also, we've discovered there's really a vital pay-it-forward element woven into the fiber of this community. An acquaintance we knew through social media was there to help us when we were the most scared, fragile, and bewildered. And now, Chris and I will be able to help the next family in need. You see, we truly are better together. And as a result, our fear and uncertainty has been replaced with hope and optimism for Bowdoin and his bright future. Thank you.